Hello, Violet. Violet's head whipped around, eyebrows shooting up in disbelief. Alaric Storm, the notoriously icy lightning prince, was talking to her? For a second, she just sat there, stunned. Then, laying it on thick, she dramatically looked left, then right, as if searching for the real Violet he was talking to. Alaric, completely unfazed by her little performance, leaned closer. You know you're the only Violet in this class, right? A playful smirk tugged at Violet's lips. Oh, wow, look who it is, the Icy Prince. Actually speaking to me. Should I feel special? Alaric sighed, clearly regretting opening his mouth. Ugh, you're being really dramatic. But Violet wasn't letting him off that easy. His annoyance only egged her on. And so nice today, too, unlike yesterday, when he totally stole my thunder and took credit for all my hard work. How charming! Alaric's jaw clenched. All right, enough. He instinctively reached out and grabbed her hand. The classroom went silent. Alaric quickly let go, but seemed to relax when he glanced at his gloved hand. The black leather was still in place, protecting him, or rather, her. Violet caught the subtle twitch of his gloved hand before he placed it back on his lap. She didn't say a word, but the knowing look in her eyes said it all. The Icy Prince was afraid of his touch. Guess he can't control it after all. Satisfied, Violet turned back to the board, pretending to pay attention to the teacher, who was writing the day's lesson with her electronic pen. But Alaric wasn't finished. His voice softened like he was trying to make amends. Look, I know we got off on the wrong foot. I want to make things right. Violet blinked, surprised by the sudden shift. Before she could reply, he extended his hand, the black leather glove contrasting sharply with his pale skin. My name is Alaric Storm, he said formally, blue eyes fixed on hers. And you are? The sincerity in his voice threw her. What game is he playing? She wondered. The Lightning Prince doesn't do small talk, especially not with humans. Her gut screamed trap. But Violet knew how to play the game. Sometimes the best way to handle an enemy was to get close. Violet Purple, she said smoothly, shaking his hand. The instant their hands touched, a tiny spark of electricity zapped between them. What was that? Was Alaric trying to use his power now on her too? What was it with these freaking alphas? Violet gasped, pulling her hand back like she'd been burned. She was both shocked and literally electrified by his touch, and possibly what might be his power. Then she thought, maybe he's not knowingly using it on me because Alaric looked just as surprised. Glancing down at his gloves, his brows furrowed in thought as if questioning their effectiveness. Well, Alaric Storm, that was shocking, she quipped, turning back to the board. Alaric didn't reply, his attention still fixed on his gloved hand. Whatever had just happened, it left him as unsettled as it had her. Today we'll be diving into the concept of limits and how they're used to understand derivatives, Ruby, the teacher, announced. She underlined the word limits on the board with her electronic pen and then displayed a smooth, parabolic graph. 2 points, A and B, were connected by a secant line. This, she said, tapping the graph, represents the position of an object over time. Think of point A as one specific moment, and point B as another moment close to it. The slope of this line gives us the average rate of change between the 2 points. Got it? Violet wasn't a math whiz, but she wasn't terrible either. She needed to focus. But that's exactly when Alaric decided to strike up a conversation. I heard you were saying Alaric's name in your sleep today. Violet stiffened. Of all the things he could have asked, that's what he chose. It was obvious he was just trying to get information out of her. Even after that awkward run-in with him and Griffin, he still didn't believe her. Turning with a sugary sweet smile, Violet replied, Why? Jealous I wasn't saying your name? She added, Don't worry. Maybe I will someday if you're a good boy and stop bothering me. He shook his head. You're unbelievable. Yep, that's me, Violet said proudly. He'd already made his mind up about her, so arguing was pointless. I just want to know if it's true, Alaric pressed. Were you dreaming about him? What's really going on between you two? Was it just a normal dream, or did he, make you dream it? Or was it all in your head? He bombarded her with questions. Back off, dude, Violet snapped, annoyed as heck that he was practically in her personal space. Plus, the class was in session. This was seriously not the time or place. Who knew how many gossipy classmates were listening in? Miss Purple! Ruby suddenly called out, and Violet's head shot up. Yes? She stammered, her cheeks burning as the entire class turned to stare. Since you seem to know so much that you can chat while I'm teaching, why don't you solve this equation for us? Oh, great. If there was anything these Cardinal Alphas were good at, it was getting Violet into trouble, and now it had finally happened. She glared at Alaric with such intensity that you'd think she was the one with lightning powers. They'd obviously been talking, but the teacher had singled her out, because who would want to punish the Cardinal Alphas? Violet was so pissed. I asked you a question, Violet Purple, teacher repeated, arms crossed, looking stern. Violet blinked, her mind racing. She'd barely been paying attention, let alone to any equations. She stammered, panic rising in her chest as she realized everyone was staring at her, waiting for her to fail so they could laugh. Suddenly, a low, calm voice whispered next to her. Use the power rule. Alaric had leaned in so close that his breath tickled her ear. She turned to look at him, gasping. She looked away, realizing Ruby had her eyes on them. Busted. Ruby knew Alaric had given her the answer. Violet waited for the teacher to call him out, but nothing. Ruby just looked at her expectantly. Were they messing with her? Don't say I didn't help, Alaric whispered, smug as a peacock. Violet's hands clenched under her desk. She hated this power play. His arrogance. She knew the answer now, but if she used it, Alaric would never let her live it down. I'm still waiting for that answer, Miss Violet Purple, teacher said, tilting her head. Gritting her teeth, Violet looked at the teacher and said, loud and clear, I don't know. The room went silent. The teacher's eyebrows shot up in disbelief. You don't know? But I just saw. She stopped abruptly, realizing her mistake. Supporting cheating was wrong. Violet smirked. She had the teacher right where she wanted her. The teacher's eyes narrowed, catching Violet's smirk. Minus 20 points for Westhouse, she snapped. A wave of murmurs rippled through the classroom. Just like individual rankings, the houses at Lunaris Academy were super competitive. While students could earn personal points, house points were a team effort and way harder to get. Westhouse usually dominated, thanks to Asher's strategies and his tight control over his crew. But Asher wasn't the only smart alpha in the school. Alaric's sharp mind kept Northhouse in the running. The back and forth between the two houses was constant. One day, Westhouse was on top, the next, Northhouse had taken the lead. This rivalry created some serious bad blood, with each house determined to crush the other. Now, Violet had cost Westhouse big time. Immediately, annoyed whispers and hisses came from her housemates. Feeling their glares, Violet turned and shot daggers at Alaric, who'd painted a target on her back. When Ruby turned back to the lesson, Alaric leaned in, his voice low and disbelieving. I gave you the answer. Without looking at him, Violet hissed, I don't need your help. I can handle my problems. Alaric sat back, his usual cool demeanor replaced by something less sure. He studied her for a long moment, like he was trying to figure her out. You're too stubborn for your own good. While it's admirable, it's gonna land you in hot water at Lunaris Academy, Violet Purple. Allow me to worry about that, Violet retorted, turning her attention back to the board. End of discussion. She tried to focus on the lesson, but the teacher's monotonous voice just made her more annoyed. After their little showdown, a sudden dislike for the woman blossomed, making it impossible to concentrate. Violet yawned loudly, drawing a few glances, but she didn't care, her eyes glazing over as the teacher scribbled on the board. But no, here she was, stuck in this mind-numbing class, each minute stretching out like an hour. 1 minute Violet was awake, the next she was out cold. A clean, sweet, and electrifying scent drifted into her nose, pulling her deeply into a hazy half-sleep. She moaned softly, instinctively leaning toward the source, craving more of the intoxicating fragrance. It felt like pure energy, like life itself. She was pressed against something firm but soft, the warmth and comfort making her want to stay there forever. "Are you going to sleep forever?" A deep voice murmured in her ear, cutting through her dreamlike state. It sounded strangely familiar. Violet's eyes fluttered open. The first thing she saw was pale skin. Then, as her vision cleared, the icy, intense stare of Alaric Storm. His raised eyebrow and faint smirk made her heart sink. Oh, great.
Hey amazing viewers, it's Voilette here. Thanks for sticking with us. By the time of the release of this video, only 7.3% of our viewers have joined the party by subscribing, and 92.7% of you might miss out on our next mind-blowing video. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the exclusive club.